Let's ride.
Good morning. The biggest impact for the Trump legal team is that they're going to have to start making decisions about what it is that they will actually argue in court about whether there were documents planted by the FBI at Mar-a-Lago. Most people don't believe that claim that former President Trump has made. His lawyers have not.
I got a little secret for you. Come here. No, closer. I don't make deals with peasants!
Well, you got me. By all accounts, it doesn't make sense.
We've got new developments to tell you about in the legal battle over the FBI search of former President Trump's Florida country club. NBC's chief White House correspondent Kristen Welker following the story. And Kristen, this special master, the semi-retired judge that the Trump team had requested, is bringing a lot of scrutiny to some of the former president's claims.
He certainly is, and setting some big deadlines as well, Savannah. Good morning. The first one set by the special master, as you say, that third party who's reviewing the material, is Monday. He says the federal government has to produce those 11,000 documents they seized from Mar-a-Lago by that date. But there is also a lot of scrutiny on that repeated unsubstantiated claim by Mr. Trump on social media and television that the FBI may have planted evidence in their search of Mar-a-Lago, despite not making that allegation in court. Mr. Trump's legal team now has to officially back up that claim. The special master giving them until next Friday to do so, writing, and I'll just read this to you, Savannah, quote, "This will be Trump's final opportunity to raise any factual disputes as to the completeness and accuracy of the FBI's list of what was taken." Now, while the FBI has not directly responded to the allegations it planted evidence, Attorney General Merrick Garland has defended the integrity of the FBI, Savannah.
Well, it sounds like the judge is saying, show us the evidence if you have it in court. Meanwhile, there are other investigations going forward, and the January 6th committee also will resume its hearings.
That's absolutely right, Savannah. Yet another of those investigations facing Mr. Trump is heating up again. As you say, next week, the January 6th committee will hold another hearing, vowing in this hearing new testimony about the events surrounding the so-called big lie. That's that false claim that the election was stolen. Now, this hearing will be the first of the fall session. And here's the political backdrop. The midterms less than 2 months away, Savannah.
All right, Kristen Welker, thank you very much.
Hey. Much later.
Put up or shut up. The special master in the Mar-a-Lago search case is ordering former President Trump's legal team to prove claims that he and they have made out of court that the FBI planted evidence during the search. Judge Raymond Dearie, who Trump's team recommended for the special master role, says the lawyers must submit a sworn declaration, which of course means under oath. Outside of court, Trump and his legal team have not faced any consequences for making these baseless and false claims. They've said with no proof that the FBI could have planted evidence.
And quite honestly, I'm concerned that they may have planted something. You know, at this point, who knows? I don't trust the government, and that's a very frightening thing as an American.
I don't think that there was actually anything there that's worthwhile. We'll see what they come up with. You know, if they did, it'll be interesting, especially since they precluded me from actually watching what they did. But at this point, I don't necessarily think that they would even go to the extent of trying to plant information. I think they just make stuff up and, you know, come up with whatever they want.
The problem that you have is they go into rooms, they won't let anybody near them. They wouldn't even let them in the same building. Did they drop anything into those piles? Or did they do it later? There's no chain of custody here with them.
Wouldn't that be on videotape potentially?
No, I don't think so. I mean, they're in a room.
So that's what they have said publicly. Will they say it under oath? Let's bring in CNN political analyst and senior political correspondent for the New York Times, Maggie Haberman. Her new book, Confidence Man, The Making of Donald Trump and the Breaking of America, comes out on October 4th. You know, Maggie, it's not the first time that something that Trump or even his lawyers have said publicly.
15 minutes later.
These are new glasses. I just keep buying them. I think I have a problem. Donald Trump is not big on loyalty to anyone else, with one major exception. When it comes to his immediate family, especially his adult children, Trump is uncharacteristically loyal. demonstrating a fatherly pride and protectiveness that he shows to literally no one else in his life. I have a lot of good relationships, Trump has said. I have good enemies too, which is okay, but I think more of my family than others. All right? In all of his endeavors, from his real estate business to his reality TV empire to his White House tenure, Trump has installed his children as his main deputies, a clear signal that he only really trusts the people who are related to him by blood. And just in case you forgot, his three eldest adult children are Don Jr., Ivanka, and Eric Trump. Ivanka worked in the White House alongside her dad, while Don Jr. and Eric ran the family business while their dad served as president. All three defend their father to varying degrees, with Don Jr. being the most, vehement. Now, consider those tight relationships in light of the news on Wednesday that New York Attorney General Letitia James filed suit against Trump, as well as Don Jr., Ivanka, and Eric, alleging they broke a variety of state laws, including insurance fraud, the falsification of business records, and filing false financial statements. These acts of fraud and misrepresentation were similar in nature, were committed by upper management at the Trump Organization as part of a common endeavor for each annual statement.
Eventually.
Katie Chakowski on this, the constitutional law attorney. Katie, we know the Justice Department wants to appeal the whole special master thing in the first place, and that would be an uphill battle, I guess. So what happens now? They have to proceed that we do have a special master. Special master has this request. Where does this go?
Well, that's exactly right. So at this point, the special master has been appointed, and that is going to continue unless and until there is an appellate decision that says that that was improper. At this point, though, I think Trump might be second-guessing his own decision to really ask for the special master because, as we saw from the hearing today, it doesn't look like it's going very favorably for his side, and there's a lot of reasons for that, specifically because this is now a civil forum where he's essentially the plaintiff and has a lot of the loss of rights that he would have if this was just a criminal forum. So I'm not sure that this strategy is playing out in Trump's favor, but at this point, it's only the DOJ that's asking for it to be reviewed on appeal.
You know, obviously, the Justice Department wants to continue its investigation, but it's frozen in place for the time being. But how do we know things still won't leak out as they have?
I think that the Justice Department's argument about the time-sensitive nature of this is not super compelling given how long it's taken to get to this point anyway. So in that sense, that to me is not the strongest piece of this. But ultimately, I think that there's going to be a final decision about what documents are going to be allowed to be considered in the investigation. There's been timelines put on the special master's review, and that is going to remain in place unless there is a decision otherwise. So really, the bigger question, though, is what is the status of these documents? And the judge got to the heart of that issue today by demanding that Trump's team come forward with their explanation as to the classification status. And that's really the crux of the issue here on all sides, civil and criminal, ultimately.
Katie, thank you. We'll see what happens. Katie Chakowski on all of that.
This is how legends are born.